And welcome into Making Sense. You might say, wait a minute, why are you doing a segment on Making Sense? Well, it's been one that's been in the show since we started it, but more importantly now, for a lot of you that are out there, your grandparents, obviously your parents, but now we're putting this in at the beginning of May because how many of you have grandchildren graduating in this month? And how many of you are planning to, maybe they don't live here, maybe they're far off, and you're going to send them that wonderful graduation card, congratulations, and you're going to put a little something on the inside, a check. Well, there's good news and bad news. The good news, you're giving them money. The bad news, they may not get it. There are more scams going on in this country right now that pertain to things that are happening in the mail.
That's right.
People can steal it, open it up, and it's a thing called whitewash. They whitewash your child's name off there, they put their name in there, and they go cash it.
Yep, that's
so
right.
You've got to be really, really careful with things like that. And of course, never put cash in there.
Right.
They say that all the time because, again, and if it's in a nice card, and it looks like it's a card, and it's this time of the year, that's almost a clue for a thief.
That's a big red flag.
Look what we got here. Money's inside. You might have both stamped on there, cash on the inside. So that's one hint of things you can do. And you might say, well, the post office should be able to take care of it. Folks, the post office, sad to say, and they may get mad at me for saying this, but a lot of people at the post office were part of the deal.
Well, you have to, there are things that you can do to try to help keep that from happening. So we'll give you a few of those tips. You don't ever put your mail on that outside of the post office. If you're going to go to the post office to mail it,
go on the inside.
Take it, go on and go on the inside. That's not even assured because there have been cases where it was an inside job. So you have to be careful about that. The best bet, if you're going to, you pay some of your bills by check. Get as many of them set up for, automatic out of your checking account, pay it online, so you're not mailing checks. If you are mailing checks, for God's sakes, don't leave them in your mailbox. Don't leave your mail sitting in your mailbox. If you have an accessible mailbox, get that mail out of the box as quickly as possible when it comes. And also, you can use a gel pen, and that, at least that helps. That ink, non-erasable gel ink, soaks into the paper. It's harder to wash, which is what these people do when they change the name. And what I do when I use that, if it's a check I have to mail, on the outside where I put my return address, I write that pretty big, and that is clearly in a gel pen. So they know, looking at that envelope, that that's probably one they might not want to mess with. So, but the best thing to do is, folks, just mail as few checks as you possibly can.
See, and another thing too, you might have thought, my post office, my mailbox, well, it's a federal offense.
That's right.
If you're going to go in, you cannot go into that mailbox and take anything out of the mailbox. You even have to be careful what you put in a mailbox, because again, that's U.S. government property. But that's the sad part of our society today. So many people that are crooks could care less. Laws mean nothing to them.
Well, I think that once you realize you've got that situation, then, and also for businesses, for a lot of you folks too, your bank should have a system whereby they keep an eye on your checks, and you can alert them, they can alert you, because now what's happening is you're mailing, like, for instance, a check for a sponsorship, or even, I believe the water company had mailed a check in for something, and the people never got the water bills check, their check.
That's
Companies, they're not getting checks. So
the bottom line is have a good relationship with your bank.
Right, absolutely.
Make sure that you keep track of if something looks funny in your account, report it as quickly as you can so something can be done. And more importantly, just as much as you can, don't write a check.
Yep, because you're gonna be out the money.
Absolutely.
So
we'll be right back right after this.